Welcome to Skybox Sports News for week number 4 of the NFL. Last week was an amazing week. Lots of upsets, lots of blood on the floor. I'll tell you what, that was a hell of a week last week. But now we're beginning a brand new week of week 4. But before we begin week 4 and making our picks against the spread, what I want to do is to take a moment to salute our veterans and those folks who are overseas and in the military who are fighting for our country. We love you, and we want you to know that people here in America love you. And I know it's been some controversy in the NFL, and I want to let our service members know that we love them and cherish them. And without them, there would be no freedom to do anything in this world. So I want to salute to those men and women fighting in our military. And now, before we get started, I also want to reiterate that we are on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. Skybox Sports News is looking to get 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So if you could help us out, a little help, we sure would greatly appreciate it. And please like and share this with others, because we're trying to become the pole position in racing as the number one position in sports picks. So we're trying to make it there, but we need your help in order to do that. And that's what YouTube likes, is they like likes, they like shares, and they like subscribers. So if you could help me out to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Okay, week number 4 in the NFL. We have the Bears. They are at the Green Bay Packers. The Bears and the Packers, huh? The Packers are favored by 7.5. Well, let's take a look at what the Bears did last week. Howard, their running back, ran for 220 yards in their win in overtime. They got an overtime victory. Hell of a long kick. And the Packers, ironically, also had an overtime game and won with a last-second drive by, who would you believe it, in overtime by Aaron Rodgers. I'm picking Rodgers. I'm going with Rodgers over the Bears. We're going with the Packers over the Bears. We're taking the 7.5, so they're going to win by 8. Okay, Steelers are going to the Rams. Ravens. Steelers are at the Ravens. Oh, gosh. We want to point out that the last 4 games the Steelers have lost to the Ravens. They're played in Baltimore. And one thing about Baltimore is that they had 3 turnovers last week. And they have some injuries from coming over London. I think that Roethlisberger, Big Ben Roethlisberger, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will win. They are favored by 3 points. They will win by 4 points. The Pittsburgh Steelers win by 4. All right, now we're going to the Lions. The Lions are at the Vikings. This is a heck of a pick'em game. This is actually even in Vegas right now. So on one side in the Vikings, you have the quarterback, Keenan. He threw for 367 yards last week. 3 touchdowns, count them 3. But you have the Lions side, you had Stafford, who went into overtime. And, not overtime, but actually they went toe-to-toe with the Falcons. And he had an 89-yard drive with seconds left and scored, and then they got robbed. You know, the defense also had 3 interceptions, but they got robbed in the last second there, and the Atlanta Falcons had an angel on their shoulder. But I'm going to go with this even matchup. I like Stafford, but I think that the Vikings are too tough. They're going to be tough at home. I'm going with them, and I'm taking the 3 points, and I'm running to the hills. Okay, the Raiders are at the Broncos, the Denver Broncos. Holy smokes. Them galloping Broncos lost last week. So did the Raiders. Holy smokes. They're both tied. They're 2-1 each of these. And I'm looking at the Broncos. I'm looking at the Raiders. The Broncos are at home. They're favored by 2.5. They're going to win by 3. I'm going with the Denver Broncos. All right, Orange Crush. Now we're going to the Redskins are at the Chiefs. Holy smokes. The Chefs? No, I said the Chiefs. The Redskins had a great showing. Thompson on there. Thompson, he threw for, Thompson had 344 yards. against the Raiders. Actually, their offense was 344 yards more than the Raiders' total offense. That's amazing in that big win they had against the Raiders. And the Chiefs have been on fire. They're now 3-0, looking at to be 4-0. Sticking with Hunt. Hunt is a hell of a rookie running back. He looks like a rookie of the year possibly. And you also got to look at Smith. 2 touchdowns last week. The quarterback, Smith, is the difference here. I go with the Chiefs. The Rams, they're looking good. They had a high score last week. They were playing at the Cowboys. They're playing at the Cowboys this week. And the Cowboys are actually favored at 7.5 points. They are favored by 7.5 points. You know, both of these teams are hot and cold. With the one team, when they do get hot, actually is hotter, and that is the Rams. I'm looking at the Rams to be hot next week and to put up some big numbers like they did last week to beat the 49ers. So I'm going to go with the Rams to do a upset. I'm taking the 7.5 points, and I'm going to run to the hills. Running to Texas Stadium? No, Jerry World. 7.5 points. We're taking the 7.5. So the Rams will have 7.5. So we're winning. So in other words, Cowboys the Rams will be within 7.5 of the Cowboys. Bills are at the Falcons. The Falcons, holy smokes. The Bills, they were looking good last week. Holy smokes, they showed up and they beat the Broncos. I couldn't believe it. And the Falcons, they had an angel on their shoulder last week. Pulling someone in the box up there that somehow pulled that actually stole that win from the Detroit Lions last week. They are favored by 8 points. I think the angel still is on their shoulder, so they're playing at home. They will win by 9 points. I will go with the Falcons. Now we're going with the 49ers. They looked good in a loss against the Rams last week, and the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. I'm picking the Cardinals. They're favored by 7. They will win by 8. The Cardinals will win. Now we're going to the Giants. They're 0-3 against the Buccaneers, who are 1-1. They're playing at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are favored by 3.5. I'm looking at Manning. Last week he threw 2 interceptions. Beckham looked good, but still is hot dogging a little bit too much, causing penalties. I think there's some critical pieces they're missing in the Giants, who were supposed to be a powerhouse this week. The Buccaneers are going to win by 4 points. I'm taking the Buccaneers at home. Now we're looking at the Saints and the Dolphins. They're playing at the Dolphins. Drew Brees, holy smokes, he came alive last week. He woke up. I think he woke up. He smelled some coffee. He's getting going now. They're 1-2. They're favored by 3 points over the Dolphins. The Dolphins are playing at home. Again, I want to reiterate, Cutler is not the answer in Miami. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Saints. They're going to win by 4 points. All right, here we go. Panthers. Carolina Panthers are playing the Patriots. Both of these teams are 2-1. And we've got to look at Newton. He has not been a factor this year so much as he was in previous years. And the Patriots, they are favored by 8.5 points. Last week Brady, he got pushed to his limit by Watson over there, rookie QB, pulled off his 40th come-from-behind win. You know what? The Patriots have not been covering. They are not covering in the last few games. They are coming up with wins, but very slim wins. So I'm going to take the 8.5 points, and I'm going to go with the Panthers, and I'm going to run back to Carolina. The Panthers will pull off an upset victory. They will be within 8.5 points of the Patriots. Now we're going to go to the Titans. The Titans are at the Texans. Holy smokes, we got the Titans and Texans, the clash of the Titans and the Texans. Holy smokes, we got us a hell of a fight. Texans are favored by 1.5. Oh my gosh, Murray, that running back has had 195 yards last week. Big running back. Running back's good. And you look at the Texans, QB Watson, he played very well, and he seems to be ready. He pushed Brady. Actually, he pushed Brady last week. the Texans did. Push Brady to their limits. But he's a rookie, and I'm going to go with Murray and the Titans, and they will win by 2 points. I'm taking the Titans. Okay, Jaguars are at the Jets. 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 Jaguars had a hell of a freaking outing last week. They went out there in London. They beat the Ravens very badly. They're favored by 3.5. We look at Lewis over there. He had 3 touchdowns. Woo-hoo. You look at the Jets last week. Anderson, he played well. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars. They're just a better team overall. And they're coming off that big win in London. I'm going to go ahead and take them. It's 3.5. They're going to win by 4 points. The Jaguars. We're taking the Jaguars. Now we look at the Bengals at the Browns. Bengals, okay, 0-3 versus the Browns. 0-3. Someone's O has got to go in this game. And you know whose O's going to go? It's going to be the Bengals. Will win this game. They are favored by 3.5 points. They will win by 4 points. They looked good last week, so looks like the Bengals O will go. And we're looking at the Bengals to win that game by 4 points. You're looking at the Eagles at the Chargers. The Eagles are 2-1. The Chargers are at a 0-3, but they have played well at times and played terrible at times. Looking at Rivers, he had 3 interceptions in the first half last week. The Eagles are tough. They're a good team. They're even. You know what? Rivers is not going to go 0-4. He will not go 0-4. Chargers will win this game at home, and it is even. This is a pick'em game, so Chargers will win. This is a pick'em game, and the line is even. So take the Chargers for a win. Looking at the Colts, they're 1-2 versus the Seahawks are 1-2 also. You're looking at Ty Hilton. He played well last week, and you're looking at defense of the Colts. They had 3 turnovers last week. Very good. But you look at the Seahawks. You know, they're favored by 13 points. 13 big points. Playing at home. Loud stadium. Wilson had 4 TDs last week and 369 yards. He, like Breeze, came alive, and it looks like they're playing at home. I believe they will win by 2 touchdowns, 14 points. I'm taking the Seahawks at home. I want to thank you for being a listener and a subscriber to Skybox Sports News. Help us with our drive to 1,000 subscribers. We need your help there, and I'm looking forward to doing this more for you in the future. And again, I want to say a salute to our troops. Without them, we are nothing. God bless our troops, and you have a wonderful week. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. This is John from Skybox Sports News. Subscribe, like, share. Goodbye.